everyone, and welcome to Short Press Gaming. And today we finally got the announcement for the Pokemon VGC 2018 series rule set for the format. So this came out via the Pokemon website today, so we know it's legit. It's not just some random guy saying this is what it's going to be, but it's everything I expected, guys. I called it. I knew it. Bing, 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 bing. So there's a few people like I even started leaning towards this more recently that were thinking it was going to be a Alola national deck or Alola Dex again, especially when they started releasing new Ultra Beasts. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be a Alola Dex again, and they were putting new Pokemon into the game and stuff. But turns out, like they typically do with the follow-up game, it's going to be a national dex. So like when X and Y came out, we had just the Kalos dex, and then the next year, no game came out, but we had national dex. And then the following year, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out. We had national dex with the Legends, and that's because Kyogre, Groudon were like a big thing. They're like, oh, let's do that. But yeah, it's typically set in that region dex for the first game, and then any following up years, it's usually national dex. So that's what ended up happening. So we're just going to read through this here. I'll give a few thoughts on what I think about it, and you guys let me know what you think about it as well in the comment section below. So, of course, VGC is the official Pokemon battle rule set. It's doubles battles. You bring 6 Pokemon, you only choose 4, and then depending on the tournament, you either do best of 1 or best of 3. So we'll kind of go into this here. So the Play Pokemon program has announced early details on the upcoming Pokemon Video Game Championship format. The updated format will give players a chance to come up with exciting new strategies. I'm expecting a lot of them to be the same. Players will be able to try out these new rules in online battles as soon as Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon launch in November 17, 2017. So it looks like they're going to keep the championship battle spot tier going, which is great. I love the championship stuff because then you don't have to worry about, oh, is VGC this season on doubles? No, it's all good. So all live tournaments will be transitioned to these new rules on January 1st, 2018. So if you're still going to tournaments in person, they will still be the 2017 rule set. So that will be a Alola Dex only. Remember that, no Megas. And then here's a brief summary of the new regulations. So all battles will be double battles played in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon. So once January 1st, 2018 hits, you need to have Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon to play VGC in VGC tournaments. So remember that, kids. Pick up your copy. And it's double battles, as it always has been. All Pokemon in the National Pokedex are allowed with the following restrictions. So that means all Pokemon, kids. All Pokemon. There are a few restrictions. We'll get into those. But from Bulbasaur down to, who's the most recent one? Is it Marshadow? Which isn't allowed. I'll get into that. But down to whoever's right above a Cosmog in the Pokedex, whatever Ultra Beast that is. All of them are allowed, and again, few restrictions here. Pokemon must have the Alola symbol showing that they were caught in the Alola region. So you don't. So it sounds a little weird. You don't have to catch them in the. I mean, you have to catch them in the Alola regions, but it's not only wild Pokemon you can use. You can also breed Pokemon, and when you bring Pokemon from old games and breed them in the new games, they'll have the Alola symbol, so you can use those Pokemon. So again, everything from Bulbasaur until right above Cosmog you can use. Mythical Pokemon, some legendary Pokemon, and Ash Greninja are not allowed. So this kind of covers a lot of event Pokemon. Mythical Pokemon are typically going to be those event Pokemon. So Mew, I'm going to try and catch all of them here. They just did, like it was last year, they just did the giveaway for all the mythical Pokemon. So it's Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Deoxys is technically a mythical Pokemon, even though you can catch them in game now. Arceus, Darkrai, Giratina. No, Giratina's not mythical. Arceus is not mythical. Just Darkrai out of those ones. But Manaphy, Phione, freaking. If I'm looking for the poster and I know it's not near me, so I don't know why I'm looking for it. I can just bring it up here. And I'm talking about this in a chat right now, and somebody just said, "Can I use Necrozma?" Which you can't. I'll get into that. I'll get into that too. All right. Get rid of that. I'm going to bring up the mythical Pokemon so we can label them all off here. Mythical Pokemon. Sorry for this. I should have had this up already. But there's just so many of them. Alright, here's the picture of it. The picture should be on the screen with an extra Pokemon because there's a few that aren't in it. So, Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Manaphy, Shaman, Darkrai, Meloetta. Arceus is a mythical Pokemon. Okay. Genesect, Keldeo, and then the ones that aren't on this list are going to be Volcanion, Hoopa, Diancie, and Marshadow. So those are all the Pokemon you can't use that are mythical Pokemon. Some legendary Pokemon, which is going to typically be what are called box art legendary. So if they're on the cover of the game, typically you can't use them. There's a few exceptions. There's like Mewtwo you can't use. Can't use Lugia or Ho-Oh. Can't use Groudon or Kyogre or Rayquaza, however you pronounce that. Can't use Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina. You can't use... Now people are going nuts about doing the Crozma thing. 5th gen, you can't use Reshiram, Zekrom, or Kyurem. You can't use frickin' Xerneas, Yveltal, or Zygarde. And you can't use Solgaleo, Lunala, Necrozma, or Cosmog or Cosmoem. Not that you'd use them because they don't have attacking moves. But those are all the legendary Pokemon you can't use. Typically, that's what it's going to be. I'm assuming they're following that same rule set here. That's what they used 2015. And then Ash Greninja, because it's an event Pokemon, you could only get it at that time. So if you started playing after, you couldn't get it. And also, typically, they're going to be pretty crap. So I would like to make a quick addendum to this. This was just brought up to me. Even though all legends can be used, they still have to be able to be caught in Alola. That is one of the big parts of this. So, like, you can use Landorus Therian, but Landorus Therian has to be able to be caught in Alola, which they still can do. That is still possible, especially with the wormholes. But we'll see if that happens. Otherwise, just remember that when I talk about Landorus and other legendaries. But otherwise, get back to the recording. Those are the Pokemon you can't use. You also can't use duplicate Pokemon, so you can't use, like, you can't use, whatever, 2 of the same Pokemon. That's what duplicate Pokemon means. All items are allowed, but duplicate items are not. Now, this is very, very cool, because they leave out a key thing. They don't say no Mega Stones. That means Mega Evolutions are back in Pokemon VGC 2018. So that means Mega Kangaskhan's back, Mega Salamence, Mega Mawile, Mega Alakazam, Mega everybody. So, does this mean they're going to be putting Megas in the new game? I don't think so. It just means that you can use them again. And they did nerf a lot of the Megas. Like Mega Kangaskhan's Parental Bond got nerfed. All of the 8s got nerfed. So like Aerial 8, that Mega Pinsir and Mega Salamence get. Pixel 8, that Mega Gardevoir and Mega Ugly Face. Altaria get. They're all got nerfed, so they don't do as much damage as they used to. Sorry, there's just noise going on in the reptile room, so I'm trying to figure out who's doing what in there. And then all Pokemon are set to level 50, including Pokemon below level 50. That's something different from previous years. I don't know if they implemented that this year, or 2017 or not, but in 2016 I know people were doing like level 49 Groudon and level 49 Kyogre, so that they'd guarantee underspeed other Pokemon in Trick Room. And there was other things like level 1 Aeron. Some people would use their level 1 Rattata with Endeavor, that kind of stuff. So everything's level 50. You can't be doing none of that nonsense anymore. And then the player time is 5 minutes. We saw that implemented in Pokemon Sun and Moon. They're just restating that for the 2018 series. The entire 2018 Pokemon VGC rules document will be available on the rules and resources page in December. So they're gonna like flush everything out by then. So there'll be all the the banned legendaries will be on there and that kind of stuff. Players are expected to understand the rules when participating in a competition, so take a look at them before your next event. Once again, players will be able to download rule sets to practice with the 2018 VGC rules via the Pokemon Global link. Visit the Festival Plaza in your Pokemon Ultra Sun or Pokemon Ultra Moon game to download the rules and start battling and training with your friends. Look forward to many exciting battles in 2018 under the new Pokemon VGC 2018 format starting later this year. So that's all they've given us so far. Again, December, they'll flush everything out so everything's like set in stone. They'll put things like Porygons can only be in Pokeballs and that kind of stuff. They'll make sure everything's flush, or they'll try to at least. They'll try and cover everything, and then obviously some will come up. But anyways, so this is pretty exciting stuff. Now I hear some of you saying, "But Sharp, isn't it just going to be like 2015 where everybody ran chalk?" And for those of you who don't know, Chalk was a really, really, really popular team build that almost everybody used, that consisted of the 5 letters of Chalk stood for a different Pokemon. So C was Cresselia, H was Heatran, A was Amoonguss, L was Landorus Therian, and K was Kangaskhan or Mega Kangaskhan. And then typically it was either a Thundurus Incarnate or a Sylveon thrown in there. And yeah, that's going to happen. It's just how it works. 2017 did have a little bit of variety to it. A lot of people still ran the same stuff, obviously. There's still a lot of Arcanines, a lot of Garchomps, a lot of Tapu Kokos. I don't think any of those Pokemon even won Worlds. So it is possible to win without using the stuff that everybody's using, but everybody's going to use it because those are the most reliable Pokemon. They give you the best results more of the time than other Pokemon do. And that's just what happens. That's going to happen in any kind of competitive game. There's going to be something that's a little bit better than everybody else, and then everybody's going to be like, oh, use that. But it's up to us to be able to use our own strategies and try and win with them. And I do like the National Dex rule set because it opens up all of that area that you wouldn't have had before, that you can use a bunch of different Pokemon in. Like, especially this year, I'm starting to, like, I haven't run out of Pokemon yet, but it's definitely starting to run out of Pokemon. And even when you're starting to get into those less used Pokemon, you still have to use all those Pokemon that are like Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Arcanine to back them up, because otherwise they don't do as well. But I think with what new Pokemon 2017 brought in, I think it will switch it up a little bit. Probably not too much, though. We're going to see a lot of those same Pokemon. We'll see a lot of Cresselia. Cresselia is just a really good Trick Room setter. It has Levitate, so you can Earthquake next to it. It's just a really good Pokemon in general. Heatran, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of Heatran because of all the Tapus that are going to be coming into the game now. We're going to see a lot of the Tapus, especially Tapu Koko. And Heatran, with its Fire and Steel type, resists Fairy-type moves really well. It resists Tapu Lele's Psychic type. Tapu Bulu, it resists its Wood Hammers. Not that we ever really saw Tapu Bulu too much. He'd pop up every once in a while. But that's a really strong Tapu Bulu counter. And then Tapu Fini can kind of go up against it. So maybe we'll see a few Tapu Finis if Heatran's really sticking around a lot. Which Heatran's going to replace Arcanine. So Arcanine's going to go away again. I mean, it might stay around just because people are like, oh, it was so good last year. But if you remember in 15, Arcanine was a real novelty Pokemon to see in VGC. So I could see that happening again. We could see... I think Gyarados might be popping up again. I don't know. It depends. So, like, people are going to lean towards Heatran, so you don't want 2 fire types. So then Gyarados would be your Intimidator, typically, is how that works out. Salamence sometimes, too. We're going to see a lot of Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan doesn't get KOs as reliably as it used to with the nerf in Parental Bond. It still does a ton of damage, so I'm sure we'll see it. But it's going to be a lot more of the Power Up Punch return sets, which gives you a chance to KO it a little bit quicker, hopefully. We'll see a lot of those. I don't think we'll see Amoonguss as much. We might see it every once in a while, just because it's really bulky and you can draw attacks away from other Pokemon with it. But I think because of Tapu Koko going to be around a lot, I think Tapu Koko is going to carry through really well. And with his electric terrain, Amoonguss loses a lot of its niche and Spore, which you can't miss, because you can't put Pokemon to sleep if the electric terrain's up and they're touching the ground. So I think we see a little less Amoonguss. I'm sure we'll see a few of them still, but it won't be as common as it was. Landorus Therian is going to be everywhere. It's really good against Tapu Koko, obviously. He's got the Intimidate. That's the Intimidate Pokemon we saw. Not Gyarados, it was Landorus. So Landorus is going to be taking over Arcanine's role of Intimidation, which arguably a little less worse, but it does have that 4 times weakness, so it isn't as bulky as Arcanine was. And then we already talked about Mega Kangaskhan. So here's my bold prediction. Call it bold if you want. Next year's Worlds, VGC 2018 Worlds, there's going to be teams with Megacon, Heatran, Tapu Koko, Landorus, Cresselia, and then something else. That's my maybe another Tapu. That's my prediction. We'll see if that happens. Other Pokemon I'm excited to see come into 2015. We might see some Garchomps. Again, Landorus kind of takes that role of a ground type, and with dragons being pushed back so much by fairy types, and especially the Tapus, we might not see Garchomp as much as we did this year. Z moves, Landorus and Tapu Koko are going to be carrying Z moves. Just expect that. It's not going to be much different this year. A lot of times Tapu Koko carried a Z move if it wasn't Specs or Life Orb, and then other times Garchomp carried it, and Landorus is the new Garchomp. What else will we see? What else? Expect the metagame to get even faster this season, because we already had Z moves this last season where you would just straight up kill a Pokemon, but now you have a Mega sitting next to a Z move user, and things are just going to be bodied left and right. So games are going to move really, really fast. Speaking of Megas, I'm kind of excited to see if Mega Camerupt makes any foothold in the early metagame. I don't think it'll make it to Worlds as a commonly used Pokemon, but I think maybe in the early season when people are still figuring things out, Camerupt might show up a little bit, and that's only because I only think that because Mega Camerupt is making a pretty big name for itself in the OU tier and Smogon, because it does so well against the Tapus. So I don't know, it probably won't, but it would be exciting to see if it does, because that'd be pretty cool for my boy Mega Camel, because we rocked the Mega Camel in 2015. But anyway, that's really all I have to say right now, but I am excited to see what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you think of the 2018 rule set so far? Are you excited to see the National Dex? Are you excited for Mega Pokemon to be coming back into the metagame? Or not so much? Let me know, and we'll see you guys next time. Stay sharp, everyone.